risk to see if he can turn it into his favor. Unfortunately, the King Mukla comes in and grants Kaldi another win. So 2-0 up so far. And I don't know, in the beginning, Nim, she said maybe we won't see another, again, we won't see a sweep this week given the classes, but it's the power of the Hunter, man.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Theude is in trouble. Druid is not a great class versus Hunter. I'm not sure which Warlock he's playing. If he's playing Handlock, then this matchup is a bit different than before because of heal bots, but still, I think Hunter has an advantage. And if this is a Zoo, I think he has a good chance. But if this is Zoo, I would probably take the Zoo against Hunter first instead of Shaman. Theude definitely not happy about this situation. And you know, like Hunter, oh my god, this deck was so good before, and it got nerfed, and it was so great. And and it's so fantastic. Like, how do you stop it? Well, you do stop it with Warrior, let's say, right? But Warrior got banned.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I think Mech Mage or like Mage has a good chance if you run Annoyatrons. Like Annoyatrons are the tools that can stop the Hunter, but then is Theude running Annoyatrons in any of his remaining decks? Maybe he's playing a Mech Druid.
Maybe. I mean, you know, just recently, of course, there were some posts talking about how Druid seems to have been one of the most versatile classes, just given the decks that have come out, even if they weren't used competitively. So we'll see. It's always fun to see what kind of Druid deck comes out, and sometimes we're pleasantly surprised. At the same time, neither of us know yet what Warlock deck it is, so I think we're waiting on the players to get ready and then jump in to Game 3, and we'll find out, whichever class it is for Theude, what type of deck it is. And now on Kaldi's end, again, you know, if Kaldi ends up winning the whole match, well, we're jumping ahead of ourselves a little bit here. It does beg the question on the bans, right? The deck bans. But we are looking at Warlock.
Wow, there is a Black Knight. He loves his Black Knights.
Wow.
So it is a Zoo deck. Definitely a Zoo deck with Implosion, and his hand is not that great right now, so he's probably going to mulligan some of the cards. On the other hand, Kaldi's opening, well, it's pretty good. Web Spinner, Mad Scientist, versus Warlock. I like those cards. Definitely would love to have Undertaker, but it's decent. Oh, and he actually picks up. Kaldi picks up Unleash the Hounds, which is one of the best cards against the Zoo when you're playing Hunter.
And he's gonna put up the Gnome first now that he draws that on turn 1. So we'll just keep trading back and forth, and like you said, until if there's enough of a board on Theude's side, the Unleash the Hounds will do its job.
Leper Gnome. Is he going to win on the back of the Leper Gnome? I'm excited.
We've seen plenty of games. I love the Clockwork Gnome now from GBG too. It's just everyone usually has a Gnome on turn 1, no matter what class, because it's either the Leper Gnome or the Clockwork Gnome. Both fit fine.
Yeah, the poor gnomes are getting squashed every turn. He got a freeze. That's an important card. It might be a very good like when they're racing, and they will be racing at some point. Right now, in the beginning of the game, Hunter versus Zoo, it's more or less minion trading. Whoever comes on top will have the board, and whoever gets the board wins. But at some point, maybe Kaldi will have a decision to just try racing and going for face, and then this single freeze can stop a Doomguard and save him like 5 points of damage. So, very important card to get.
Now we're waiting on Thor's turn. He didn't use his coin yet.
Wow, he actually taps. And
wow.
Instead of just playing a minion, developing something to be able to counter this Mad Scientist, he decides... Well, he can still coin and flame him.
Yeah, but he chooses not to. Little bit of an interesting play, perhaps a little bit risky to some eyes, but now Kaldi's just gonna have a field day on this turn and every turn afterwards from here. Now he doesn't have any more minions in hand though, right? So that's a little bit of a concern for Kaldi. We'll see how that plays out for him.
I think it's actually looking good for Kaldi because Theude without playing minions, I think he's going for the implosion into one of the minions and trying to get a good number. But then Kaldi has this Unleash the Hounds to be able to counter it. So
yeah,
right now Kaldi again has the initiative and is the one being aggressive and dealing damage. And when Hunter is having the initiative, it's really hard to stop him.
Yep. I mean, just taking that one turn. So yeah, he's gonna go for the implosion, and no matter what number he gets, the hounds should come out next turn.
Wow, he gets a 4.
Wow.
That's a crazy number. There is a big difference between 2 and 4. It's like having 2 minions where you normally, well, Unleash the Hounds is actually going to counter this, and it doesn't matter. But normally, those 2 additional minions, they mean a lot. You can play a Sea Giant maybe if you have one. You can trade more effectively, which is saving you cards and giving you advantage. But this is kind of like a standard ladder game, right? Zoo versus. Whoa!
Yeah.
Web spinner gives a Gazrilla.
Wow. We'll see if we even get to see that come out to play here. Plenty of other cards to be used before that, I think, for Kaldi.
So Kaldi clears the board and still maintains the initiative. Mad Scientist remains in play. Theude has one of the few mechanisms to come back, which is Knife Juggler. But it's like Juggler and 1 knife.
Yeah. And I have to say, given the hand and so far how he's played it, yeah, I do think Theude was getting a little bit greedy there. He was looking for maybe a better Knife Juggler turn, you know, and that implosion coming out, coining out the implosion and getting denied right away with the hounds. Just cannot feel good. Now, this will hopefully take care of at least one of the minions. There's a chance it'll go to face, but
25% for face. It happens.
It does happen. You know, sometimes it's just not your day, and it continues to feel worse and worse. But we'll see what happens for Theude. And it does go to face.
Oh my god, this is not his day. This is definitely not.
I almost feel bad for saying that can happen first. I feel like I'm partially responsible for this right now, but
you can definitely see the disappointment on his face, and this is also what I love about having, you know, the cameras, because we can see those players, we can see the emotions, and look at Kaldi, how calm he is actually, right? Like, he's definitely in the zone right now, and he knows what he's doing. He knows he's winning this. And Theude is like, you can see everything.
Yeah, he's been just a little bit irritated, and who wouldn't be in his shoes so far in these games? I mean, Hearthstone does that to you sometimes. The game itself really gets on your nerve sometimes, and you can't really do too much about it.
Right now it's very tough for Theude. Normally, Zeus should be the one who is building up the board and being aggressive with cards like Harvest Golem, Nerubian Egg, and just trading the board. So the Hunter has to come back. But in this situation, Theude refused to play minions in the beginning. He tried to get a good implosion. I was countered. And right now it's like, just play a minion and pass. Like, he can't even play this Flame Imp. This is past the Flame Imp threshold. It's too much damage, so... Doomguard maybe, but then there's a Freezing Trap waiting for him. No Defender of Argus. Really a tough spot.
You know, I don't really see too much. And again, the Black Knight and BGH are in there, which are very uncommon for Zoo, and clearly kind of trying to tweak it for tournament settings where you're going to see those larger monsters come out. But it's really not going to help him here. He can put it down just for a body at this point. He knows he's not going to have to face anything. Or, well, he thinks he doesn't have to. He might have to face a bigger Gazrilla later. Who knows?
Well, that also explains why he didn't pick the Zoo against Hunter first, because his Zoo is more like tweak against control decks.
Exactly, so I think he kind of tried to keep it for just turning the tables if they were neck and neck, you know, maybe 2 and 2 or something like that. And I like this freeze on the egg, making sure that it can't get buffed with the wolf this turn again to be triggered. You know, Kaldi just trying to guarantee the win here in the next turn or two.
Well, if Theude decides to tap, Kaldi has lethal. He has 11 damage. He can also draw into something, so definitely he could use the freeze, and he did. Doomguard, I think, is the only card he can play right now to be able to react to the board. But then, what do? Like, you can't race. You can't win the race now. Even though Kaldi is at 19 points of health. if you go face, it's like 14 and you don't have the ways to win next turn. You might be forced to trade. All right, so he decides to go for face. He doesn't discard a second Doomguard. So in a situation where he would draw like a Soulfire, I'm not sure he runs one.
But the Houndmaster comes out, Kaldi again with just the right card to buff things enough to get
That's
lethal.
Exactly cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
It should be. And again, like you said, I mean, Theude, he saw that his second Doomguard stayed alive, so just trying to go for the big race here, trying to take that big risk to even give himself a chance of getting lethal. But it's not going to happen, and Kaldi's going to go up 3-0.
Wow, that's a just incredible score, and unfortunately we didn't see the Gazrilla, but this game is like I said, you know, Theude wasn't able to just come up with the minions in the beginning. He had the Leper Gnome, but neither of the players had the Undertaker, so Hunter was able to take advantage, had a fantastic answer to the Implosion. Even though Implosion hit 4, it didn't matter at the time because of Unleash the Hound, so he just maintained initiative. And I'm not like he has a couple of differences in his Hunter list. We've seen King Makla, we've seen Clockwork Gnome. Well, a lot of people are actually running Clockwork Gnome, but I'm not sure about Makla. It might be more of like his own design there. So, but still, really well played. He is calculating damage, and Theude with his back to the wall. Very tough situation.
You know, he's going to have to pick his Druid deck. We are going to go to a quick break. If the players a little bit of a chance to get some water or something like that, we will probably get some water during this break too. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back with what possibly could be match point. Kaldi is up 3-0. We'll see if the Druid could get a miracle for Theude when we come back from this break to Deckwars. Welcome back, everyone, to week 5 of Deckwars. Chober here with Nimsh this week. And we are actually at a situation where we could possibly see only one more game. Kaldi up 3-0. What do you think, Nimsh?
Oh, man. It's so the first time I'm casting Deckwars this season, and we have a possible sweep. Like, come on. And with a Hunter, I want to see more games. I want Theude to actually, you know, man up now, take this Druid where Malfurion, one of the most powerful characters in the Warcraft universe, just stomp the Hunter and show us the power, show us why he banned Priest, not a hunter, and maybe like I want to see an interesting druid deck, and I want to see something else. So even though I like hunter myself, I do like understand the concern about this deck being like maybe not too powerful, but really hard to interact with.
Yeah. Now, like we mentioned, or like you mentioned, the King Mukla, not something we see too commonly anymore in Hunter decks coming back for Kaldi. But on the side of Theude, so far his zoo was tweaked specifically against some more control, it seems, rather than the kind of standard full aggro. And so we'll see. I think we can have some hope for an interesting Druid deck. If any class is going to have some new spins on it, it could be Druid. But at the same time, he hasn't chosen it until the end, right? So maybe that says a little bit about